Years ago, one of my friends and I, we were drinking. And my friend, she was like, can I talk to you about Spider-Man? I have no one to talk about Spider-Man to. So I said, yes. I'm sorry, I'm going to swear. This bitch. Did you know Spider-Man has a lot of sex with different people? Did you know that? I did not know that. But now I know Spider-Man had a lot of sex with a lot of different people. He also apparently had sex, I think, with a version of himself that's a woman or something like that. Listen, you do you. But yeah, my friend was honestly like... My friend was really nice. She said, can I tell you about Spider-Man? And I said, yes. And then she didn't stop talking for 6 hours. And frankly, she should just do a stream. The radioactive sperm. Yeah, he killed a woman because of his semen. Listen, if I had to find out, you had to find out. You're welcome. Nina, what do you mean you didn't know about the different universe? What do you mean, what do I mean? I just found out that the Batman is not in Marvel. Listen, when I was a younger fox, I watched the X-Men, the Batman, the Spider-Man. I remember seeing the Fantastic Four movie with Jessica Alba. But it didn't stick. I remember the X-Men cartoon when I was a kid too. Nina, did you wake up and choose violence? I was just never into the comic books. I'm sorry, baby. I just was never into the comic books. I don't know how to tell you this. This might come as a shock to some of you, but I am a woman. And it was kind of hard to get into a comic book space as a woman. I don't know. I know that's kind of shocking to hear, but it's just not the easiest space to be in. If you're into comic, like, you don't just go to like a comic book store, you know, and like check out comics. You gotta have a little bit of resilience. People get into, you know, people get a little weird about it or mean about it. It's back in the day. Maybe not today, but back when I was young, I definitely thought, you know, superheroes were kind of cool, but I just could never get into them. So yeah. It was like just kind of hard to get into that kind of stuff. And I mean, listen, I don't have to tell you, you know, that I hope I don't have to explain that sometimes sexism exists, but I'm sure you've even seen it in games. If any of you have ever played Overwatch with a female before and she says anything in voice chat, or you've watched a streamer who's a female gamer girl say anything. Now imagine that, but way worse 20 years ago when I was trying to get, you know, when I was curious about comic books or interested about comic books. And especially I was interested after I saw the X-Men cartoon. I really wanted to see if there was like a standalone something about Gambit or anything like that. So yeah. Thanks, Davrin. So that's one of the reasons that like it was really hard for me to get into comic books. And since then, I just never really bothered to get into it. I've seen a few of the movies and I don't really know that much about them. Outside of the movie stuff. And I never really bothered to look into them because by the time the movies were coming out, I was already into like manga and anime. And so, or even reading, you know, books. I know, kind of gross. Reading, ew. Yeah. But yeah, it was just really tough to get into that. I think, the girls that I do know that were like really, really into comic books usually had a friend or like a brother or a father that got them into it because it was a little bit easier. Maybe that was just my experience. Maybe other people have had different experiences, but yeah, I don't know. Do you remember seeing a lot of girls at your local comic book store 20 years ago? Did I have brothers that were into it? Nah, baby. I don't have any brothers. I don't have any sisters. My bloodline ends with me. When I die, technically my bloodline's already dead, but you know, because I'm the last one left. I was that girl, and that's awesome, Lynn. Honestly, it takes a lot of like, I don't know, balls, or maybe you just got lucky and you went to like a nice place where nobody really annoyed you. Really handsome. I mean, listen, I think everyone's experience is different and everyone can have their own stuff, but I've tried to like, I used to go to like a card shop that was also a comic book store. And I would buy my Magic the Gathering cards there. And then I even, believe it or not, I bought Yu-Gi-Oh cards, even though I barely played Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, and it was also a comic book store. And it was just kind of tough. It's kind of tough to like get anything, talk to anyone. I think I could have definitely gotten into comic books in my teens. But the reason that I didn't is just because I got into anime and I got into manga and other things. And then I also got into gaming. That was a big one. I got into gaming. I mean, I remember playing Heroes of Might and Magic 2, right? Which was what, like a 98 game or something. But I got into gaming also quite a lot. So yeah, I just kind of, instead of getting into comic books, I got into that.
Please make sure to subscribe, and if ever
hit that smash like.
smash that like button.
No, yeah, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button and smash.
Smash what?
Else?